Hello everyone, this is my first teaching memo slash video as session 1 has ended and session 2 has begun. I had a busy weekend. I attended my daughter's 8th birthday party yesterday. It was a little chaotic. She now has about 7 grandparents as due to marriages and remarriages. A lucky girl. My brother is visiting from Arizona, so I've been a little lax on the discussion board posts. That will change this week. Has anyone noticed that the Red Sox swept the Yankees this past weekend? And the Patriots are undefeated without Tom Brady? Okay, enough of that nonsense. I always start off my teaching memos with a little housekeeping. By this time, you should have completed 2 assignments, and those are the baseline survey. You should have uploaded that. That's a pass-fail assignment, so everyone will get 100 regardless of whether you handed it in on time or not. I think the rubric says you get downgraded for lateness, but on this first one I'm not going to do that. You should upload your initial post you should have uploaded your initial post in session 1 assignment folder, and you should start responding to your classmates if you haven't done so already. Many of you have in the discussion board. Also, those of you who haven't introduced yourselves, please do, as it makes the course much more personable and builds community. And I know I always go back and check to see, where you're working, what are you doing, what grade level you teach, or if you do teach. So I'm always going back and checking things like that. So please, if you haven't done it, and I think almost everyone has, please do it. And also add an avatar. A lot of you haven't added an avatar to your personal information, so please go in and do that. And preferably an avatar that has your face on it. Rather than a Charlie Brown character. So, I wanted to bring to your attention the help is on the way discussion board. I will go in and it's in all discussions, and you can see there's a little hang in there. Help is on the way. One person has asked a question, and I thought it was a pretty legitimate question. It's how one makes their initial post, and if you go in, you'll see that Beatrice she clicked on create a thread rather than going into her group, which is group 3, and you can see her name is right there. So you click on reply. Make I would change this RE group 3 to something that'll entice us to read your post. And then you cut and paste your post that you wrote out as a Word document and uploaded in session 1 assignments. Just cut and paste it. And you can do that 2 ways. You can right click and click on paste after you've copied it, or you can do Control V, and that will, I don't know what I have I have nothing in my clipboard. So that's how you add your post to the discussion board. And then you just reply to your classmates. Also remember in the discussion board that you can delete and edit your posts. You can't delete your post once Jillian has responded to Kristen's post, so you can't delete that. But you can edit your post. Say you, like this, I'm not sure that this is correct APA format here for these references. Typically, I give the APA format in my course materials of any article I use. So keep that in mind. So also, if you add and I wanted to go in and show you, if you add a link of your own, and Kristen has added a link to an article here from UF Counseling and Wellness. It's a university website, and has to do with academic confidence and math anxiety. and I thought it was pretty well done. And she highlights some of the strategies that they suggest for getting rid of math anxiety. But you should make your link to the article so we can click on it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. See, I'm going to go in and edit her post. Now I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy this link. Control C. Oh, what happened? Try again. All right, so I'm going to highlight the website, and you can do that by just going and highlighting the URL at the top of your web browser. So I'm going to do Control C. Now I'm going to click on the link icon. And I'm going to Control V. That will paste the URL into the link path. And I'm also going to go down to this drop box, and I'm going to click on Open in New Window. You can put a title in here if you want. You don't have to. So I'm going to insert, and you can see that the link is now live. So when I click Submit, you'll see that the cursor turns to a finger when you go over that link. So now it's live. All you do, you just have to click on it, and that will take you out of Blackboard, so you can always go back to it. I want to give a shout out to Kristen for doing that, because that's exactly what I want the discussion boards to be. I want them to be inquiry based. I want them to be a place where you can extend and enhance your knowledge of the topic that we're discussing. So I also want, of course, I want you to reference our sources and course materials, but I also want you to try to go out and find things that will deepen the conversation. So that's a couple of things that I wanted to add. The last thing is that I'm still waiting to hear from several of you in response to my welcome memo. So if you haven't done that yet, go into the announcement page, which is what you go to when you first click on, and scroll down, and you'll see my welcome video. And I also have a welcome document here, welcome to 603 DocX. In that document, I explain a lot of the things I expect, but I also ask you to send me something. So please do that, because that information is very important in case I need to get a hold of you in an emergency, or you're not responding to your Turo emails. Okay. It appears that there was much confusion about the first discussion board, as I received many emails. This is the first semester that I've had everyone upload their initial post to be checked by SafeAssign. This again is a pass-fail assignment. You need to save it as a Word document or a PDF file and upload it into the Session 1 assignment. And then you cut and paste that into your discussion board group. Remember, it has to be in APA format, and it has to have a reference list to it, but that's the only post it does. The only other posts that need to have, if you cite material that isn't in our resource list. If you cite material that's in our resource list, that's all you have to do is do a citation. You don't have to reference it. But if you do something new, some relevant document, please cite it and then put the reference so we can all access it easily. Several of you panicked when you submitted your baseline survey after the informal due date I had placed in the Grade Center. And that was the only thing I really put that was due on the 11th, which was last. And you're not going to lose any credit if you didn't get it by then. Some of you emailed me and said, "Oh, Dr. Tom, I thought everything was due on the 18th. Well, yes, it really is due on the 18th, and so don't worry about that. I do not deduct points for late assignments. That's a grading practice that distorts achievement. But I do, however, close the discussion boards on the Monday morning after they are due, and then you can no longer post. So when I sit down Monday morning and start working, I will close those the test anxiety discussion board post. In each discussion board, I haven't done it yet, but I usually add what I call a teaching memo post. So this week, look for it. It's optional. You don't have to reply to it. But again, to get the most out of the course, I would suggest responding. It's always good to interact with Dr. Tom. You can also react to any of my posts throughout the discussion boards. I may have addressed a question to an individual, but anyone can jump in and answer whatever my question is, or respond to whatever I've asked. Just a reminder that to receive maximum credit for your initial posting, it has to be submitted within the first 3 days the discussion board is open. Now that's to get an A+. You can submit it up to 7 days in order to get an A. So there are 5 levels of quality. The first is an A+. The second is an A. So if you're only looking to get an A, and I'm sure most of you would love to just walk away with an A from this course, look at that second column, and you will receive a 4. Actually, it's a 4-point something for timeliness. Also, a reminder to use appropriate APA format. If you're not sure how to use appropriate APA format, you can click on this link in my teaching memo post, or just Google Purdue OWL's website, or Purdue OWL's APA. And if you haven't used correct APA, I'll make comments in your initial post upload on your APA. One of the characteristics in the discussion board rubric is responsiveness and demonstration of knowledge gained by citing the readings. The reason for this is to encourage you to use the readings to support your comments. Otherwise, the discussions will morph into 2-week-long BS sessions, or complaint sessions about your own life, or your own administration, or your own teaching and learning experience. I use the discussion boards to get you to apply what you're learning. You can make connections to yourself as a teacher-learner, but you also need to support your opinions with evidence. And typically that's evidence from the text that resources I provided, or ones that you find on the internet. Again, I mentioned you only have to use citations unless it's a new information. Then you must share a reference and reference it so the rest of us can benefit from it. Lastly, when you share a reference that contains a website, use the link icon, which I just mentioned, which I just showed you how to do, to make your link clickable. If you encounter anomalies like links that don't work in my course, then let me know. Keeping the course up to date is a full-time job. Your assistance is appreciated. And many of you have done that already. Let's talk about the assignments for session 2, the first days of school. In this session, we'll be looking at the first days of school. This is a topic seldom mentioned in schools of education and seldom experienced in one student teaching experience. I've shared several resources in course materials, and you may find more online. I know you can find more online because I found more online, and I just used the ones I thought were really good. You can do that, especially there. Can find them in Edutopia and the Teaching Channel. You're going to continue with the test anxiety discussion board if you haven't made all your posts yet. Make sure you are citing resources in at least 4 of your response posts, 5 if you want an A+. You're also going to create your first double entry journal on the article The Power of Personal Relationships. You need to watch my video in the presentations folder, and I will go to that right now. If you go into coursework by week, session 2, presentations, you'll see my video on the first double entry journal. And there, I pretty much tell you what I expect and what I want you to do, and what I think are some of the big ideas that you need to react to. Now, I don't really go into a lot of the big ideas, so, but you're going to react. You're going to download. Let me go into the assignment folder, and you're going to download the template assignments. The template for the double entry journal is here. Right click on it and it will look like this, but it'll be blank. This is one of the exemplar double entry journals that I've placed in course material. So I've given you exemplars. This number 1 exemplar is very high quality. It's an A or an A+, I can't remember. But you will look at it and notice what this person does, that this person is quoting text in the left-hand column, and please put the page number so I know where I can go to look for it. I think the article is only 3 or 4 pages long, so you won't have a lot of pages to look at. But in this one, you're going to connect to many of the articles on the first day of school. This is an article on the power of creating personal relationships with your student. It was authored by me and my wife, and we are believers that the key to opening the door for many students is building personal relationships with them and starting on the very first day of school. Sometimes you can even start before the first day of school by calling parents and finding out something about their children. You know, what do they like to do? What are their interests? What are some ways that you get them to motivate them, to get them to do things? So finding out about your students before school starts is the first step that you should take in building personal relationships with them. You're going to react to the personal relationship article, but you're going to connect to many of the other articles in course materials. And I will tell you that some of them are excellent sources of information. This is Elena Aguilar, Teaching Secrets, the First Days in the Elementary School. Many of you will like that. You will find some great ideas in there for starting school. And the rest of these all have to do with the first day of school. Great ideas. You only get one first day of school. Setting expectations on the first day of school. This is Harry and Rosemary Wong, who wrote a book called The First Days of School, which is sold millions and millions of copies. I don't know how many editions they have done now, but it's an excellent book, and I would recommend buying it. Again, this is Rita Pearson. It's a TED Talk on relationship building with students. In there, she mentions math, and you'll get a chuckle out of how she talks about math. And this is a chapter in a book from Safir and Gower. I call this book the Bible of teaching. And this chapter is on routines. It's not a long chapter, but establishing strong routines in the first few days of school will save you many, many headaches. So that's a little information on the first double entry journal assignment. Hopefully the video and the exemplars will give you a good idea of what I expect. I've weighted this. You'll be doing 2 or 3 double entry journals throughout this course, and this one will be weighted more. This one will be weighted less, and the following ones will be weighted more. And you'll also be given feedback from me when I grade them. So that's it for this week. I'll be back with another teaching memo next Monday. Good luck.